Sometimes it's not possible to have a good internet connection with which to access your Act Cloud database. In this case, you can upgrade your account to include the remote desktop synchronization feature in Act. By upgrading to a remote desktop sync, you can synchronize your updated data whenever it's convenient to you. In this video, I want to show you all about remote desktop synchronization, but first, let's quickly cover 4 typical prerequisites that you may need to address before beginning. First, you must have purchased the Desktop Client Sync add-on for your Act Cloud account. Second, before you can perform a synchronization, you need to install a compatible version of Act Premium Desktop, and I'll address this in just a little bit. Third, after installing Act Premium Desktop, you need to activate it with your serial number, and then the 4th prerequisite only applies to you if you were previously an Act Premium Desktop user and you have migrated to a cloud solution like Act Advantage. If this describes your deployment, then you must make sure to upload your Act database before creating a remote for it. Now to begin, I want to create a remote database for myself so that I can synchronize my records back and forth from the Act Cloud environment to my Act Premium Desktop installation. To do this, I'm going to create a remote database. So log into Act and then click the Tools option in the left navigation. From here, I'm going to click the Database Tools so that I can easily locate Remote DB Sync. Let's click that button. This will launch the Setup Remote Synchronization window. Now you can choose to synchronize all contacts, or you can create some rules to create a specific sync set of records. To do this, click the Create a Sync Set option first, and then follow the steps in that section. Since I'm the account administrator, I'm just going to create a remote database of every single record. So I'm going to skip this sync set, and I'm going to click Create a Remote Database instead. Now we need to give our remote database a name. I'm just going to call mine CloudWalker Brent. It's important to remember that when naming databases, you shouldn't use any spaces, and it must begin with a letter. And also, you can only use letters and numbers in the name of the database. So let's click Next. Now we need to choose one of the available sync sets from this list. I didn't create a specific sync set, so I'm going to locate the All Contacts option. There it is, All Act Contacts. And now I'm going to click Next. Notice this box at the top? You should check this box if you want to synchronize things like saved queries, templates, layouts, and more. Then you need to decide if you also want to synchronize attachments within your records. And finally, you can set a reminder to your remote user to synchronize after a certain number of days pass. So for example, if they should be syncing every week, you should set this number to 7 days. Now we'll click Next, and from here you can review all of your synchronization settings. If everything looks good, click Next to complete the remote synchronization setup. From here, Act is going to create a remote database, and this can take several minutes if you have a large set of data to synchronize. Once it's complete, you need to download the newly created remote database and then copy it to the computer or laptop that's going to be used by the remote user as the remote computer. If I were creating a remote database for one of my employees, for example, I would send this remote database to them after I download it. So read these instructions and then click Next to continue. From here, we'll click the Begin Download button. Your browser should be downloading this to your browser's default download location, and we're going to have a look at this file. So I'm going to open it in the window, and we can see here that this is an RDB file, which stands for Remote Database. This is the file that should be copied to the remote user's laptop. So I'll simulate this right now by copying it to my desktop. Okay, that's all set. Now at this point, you need to make sure that Act Windows Desktop is installed on the remote user's computer. If you need to complete this installation, open up a browser and go to act.com/download, and then scroll down and make sure you install the Act Windows client. After you install Act on that remote computer, just exit out of the Act program. Then, while you're still on the remote computer, locate and double-click the RDB file that you just copied to it. So for me, I'm going to go to my desktop, locate my cloudwalkerbrent.rdb file, and now I'll just double-click that file to open it. This launches Act and takes us directly to the process where we can unpack and restore the remote database on the remote computer. It's probably best to leave the default location in this second field, but if you want to save this database to a different location, then use the Browse button to do so. Then click OK. After the restoration process is finished, your RDB file is no longer needed, so you can click Yes to delete this file now. Now you can log into your remote database with your Act Cloud credentials. Once you've logged in, Act will ask you if you'd like to synchronize with the main database now, so let's click Yes. This launches a window that shows the progress of your synchronization. When it's finished, you can click the View Sync Log link at the bottom to see which records were synced. Then click Close to close this window. From now on, the remote user can log into this Act desktop database and work with the records here. Remember, though, that the desktop environment is an offline environment. It does not maintain a live connection to your Act account. That means that any remote desktop users must synchronize to the main database from the remote computer to upload their changes and then to download any changes made by other users. Fortunately, syncing is easy from Act Desktop. Just go to the Tools menu at the top, locate the Synchronize Database submenu, and choose Synchronize Now. And for an easy pro tip, here's a quick little customization that I like to use. What I want to do is put the Synchronize button on my toolbar at the top of the screen. So let's right-click in the menu bar at the top and choose Customize. Then I'm going to click the Commands tab, scroll down and look for Tools, grab this Synchronize Now button, click it and drag it to the top of my desktop. And then I can close my Customize window. Now, all I have to do is simply click this button at the top of my toolbar to synchronize with the cloud database anytime that I want.